Hello and welcome to Pandora's Box. This is Kaleah, and today we're going to talk about embracing your anger. As a society, we have a very dysfunctional relationship with our anger. So many people feel they shouldn't be angry. They don't want to be angry. They wish they weren't angry. They don't know how to get angry, or they project their anger outward onto others. Men in general have a little closer connection with their anger than women, where women have a closer connection to their sadness and grief. Women need to connect to their anger, and men need to connect to their sadness. You might ask, why would I want to connect to my anger? Well, because your anger is there. It's beneath the surface of your awareness. And if you aren't in touch with it, if you aren't aware that you have it, it will influence your life, your decisions, and your relationships. I knew a man who had a very tight jaw, and he just looked angry. And when I mentioned this to him, he denied that he was angry and said this is just how he looked. Down the road, I discovered he had been violent with the woman he was with, so his anger finally came out. Some people, when you ask why they are so angry, they might shout, "I'm not angry," or worse yet, accuse you of being the one who is angry. It isn't wrong or bad to be angry. Anger is a natural human emotion, regardless of the information out there that says otherwise. Anger is what prevents us from being walked on, bullied, abused, and mistreated. When we get angry about the way someone is treating us, we are more likely to draw boundaries and say, "No, you can't treat me like this anymore." Sure, you can draw boundaries without anger, but many people never learn to draw boundaries or see the need until they get in touch with their anger. Anger is higher on the emotional scale than fear, grief, apathy, and, of course, unconsciousness in terms of how much energy it produces. It is anger that often motivates us to action. We may be sitting around the house depressed and in a state of apathy, completely out of touch with our anger. And when we get angry, we often get up off the couch and do something differently. We may get angry and decide we're not going to let that relationship destroy us, or we aren't going to collapse ourselves into our fear, our pain, our grief, and our feelings of worthlessness. We're going to get out and go for a run, or go for a hike, or clean out our closet, or look for a job. It's our anger that causes us to say, "No, I'm not going to let you talk to me that way anymore. I'm not going to be humiliated or mistreated." It is anger that causes people to block their abusers on their phones, emails, and social media. Anger causes us to stand up for ourselves. And how can this be a bad thing? It's important to know the difference between anger and acting out. We can be angry without dumping our anger on others, blaming others, writing nasty messages, showing up on someone's doorstep, or being physically or verbally abusive. We can be angry without seeking revenge. We can be angry and still be in control of our emotions to where we don't take them out on others. Anger has gotten a bad rap in spiritual circles. I remember many, many years ago, I got into a debate with a woman who was a spiritual practitioner and held firm in her belief that anger does not serve us in any way. I argued that it did serve us. Otherwise, why would we have it? Why would God give us an emotion and then make it wrong or bad? What good is it to have such a powerful emotion and then feel guilty for having it? We can learn to control our emotions in such a way that we don't react to others emotionally, but we can't control how we feel, nor should we. Our feelings are our internal guidance system and alerts us to something within us that needs our attention. When we try to amputate our emotions because we don't think we should be feeling this way, we're fighting against our own nature, and that is never good. Even jealousy is a natural human emotion and needs to be honored. Most people don't like it when they feel jealous, and as a result, they make themselves wrong. But jealousy and envy are often there to alert us to something within ourselves that we need to look at or change. For example, if you envy someone who is successful, your jealousy is showing you that you desire to be more successful, to take action and focus more on your own path to success, instead of perhaps being apathetic or inactive towards your goals. If a woman is jealous of another woman because she is beautiful, she is of the belief that life would be easier for her if she were more beautiful, that she would have more love in her life, or have the man she wants. But what her jealousy is really showing her is that she needs to love herself more and share that love with others so that she will have more love in her life. Being jealous of another man or woman who is with your ex is usually a product of your imagining that he or she has the happy relationship with that person that you wanted. It's really showing you that you desire a happy, healthy, functional relationship. But you may not see it that way. Being jealous of another man or woman who is with your ex is usually a product of your imagining that he or she has the happy relationship with that person that you wanted. It is really showing you that you desire a happy, healthy, functional relationship, but you may not see it that way. You may be jealous that your ex perceives this new woman or man as worthy and perceives you as unworthy, which may be true. Maybe your ex does perceive it that way. But this shows you that you need to work more on your own feelings of worthiness so others don't have so much power over how you feel. As you feel better about yourself and take steps to live your best life, you won't care that someone else is now with the person who caused you so much pain, grief, and trauma. You don't want that anyway. You want something so much more authentic. Anger and jealousy are very difficult emotions. Nonetheless, they have a purpose. So the first thing you need to do is embrace these emotions. Allow them to be there and don't judge them as right, wrong, good, or bad. Understand that embracing your emotions doesn't mean acting them out in unhealthy ways. There are healthy ways to deal with your difficult emotions in the safety of your own home without ever taking them out into the world or onto the social media platform. The first thing you need to do is recognize that you are feeling angry. Sometimes it takes a long time for the anger to surface. You may be feeling sad, hopeless, despairing, depressed, and apathetic, unable to get off the couch. And due to these feelings, you may even see a doctor and get on antidepressant medications. Antidepressant medications may provide short-term relief to a depressed state, but they do nothing to help you to work through your emotions in a healthy way. When you go off your medications, you may find that all the emotions you had prior to taking meds make a comeback. So you can deal with them now, or you can deal with them later. But if you want emotional health and well-being, you will have to deal with them. Many people believe that depression is anger turned inward. And this can be one reason for depression. If you don't feel your anger, you can't protest against how you're being treated or the unfairness of life. You may hold the feelings inside and hope they go away, but this doesn't work. When you hold your feelings deep inside, it takes a lot of energy, and you're blocking the flow of energy in your life, and so your energy and vitality are restricted, and this is depression. I see depression as a form of suppression. When you suppress your emotions rather than express them in healthy ways, you're turning your emotional energy inward. You're holding it inside. It isn't just anger. It's all difficult and uncomfortable emotions that we tend to hold inside. Grief is also a major cause of depression. So when you feel enormous grief caused by a loss of some kind and don't truly mourn that loss, you may go into depression. Grieving, crying, and shedding tears is an action, and it helps to release the emotional energy that has built up in your body. As a result, it releases the restriction blocking your life force energy from flowing through your body. Sometimes we hold grief inside because we don't want to grieve that person, especially in relationship to a narcissist, where the narcissist has quickly moved on and is happily pursuing another relationship. You may think, why should I grieve that SOB? But it's important to remember that emotions aren't logical. They don't think like that because they don't think at all. You can't apply logic and expect to be emotionally healthy. The more you repress your emotions, the more you repress your life force energy, and the more stagnant you will feel emotionally. Many people come to me for counseling who feel stuck. They feel like they are flatlined. There's no ambition, motivation, excitement, or will to live for that matter. This is usually the result of repressed emotions. Just having a safe place to talk about how they're feeling can begin the process of unleashing these emotions. When a relationship with someone who is highly narcissistic ends, suppression of emotion is pretty common because there's so many confused, complex feelings that have no outlet. You can't talk to that person about how you're feeling because narcissists make feelings wrong and bad. Because narcissism is a result of the denial of feeling, the narcissist denies feeling in himself and others. He or she won't have anything to do with your feelings. Throughout the relationship, as you try to communicate your feelings, you may find that you're shut down over and over again and treated as if your feelings are a sign of weakness or a sign that you have a serious problem, that you're bipolar or crazy in some way. And the result is emotional repression. When you try to talk to friends and family about how you are feeling, you may come up against the same kind of dynamic and be told, get over it already. He isn't worth your time or energy. Move on. You're too sensitive. Have you ever thought of getting on medication? You need therapy. None of this is helpful. On the contrary, it is destructive. You're reaching out in pain and being shut down emotionally. It is true you probably do need therapy because a therapist is likely going to be the only one who will really listen to you and offer genuine support. Yet there are many therapists who are also emotionally shut down and don't want to deal with your emotions because they haven't dealt with their own. So they're likely to get you to change your thinking or suggest medication. If you have experienced the rejection of your emotions through your ex-partner, your family, friends, and your therapist, you are likely to feel that rejection on a deep level. It's easy to feel that if your emotions are rejected, you are being rejected. You may feel that people only really love you if you are happy and positive. There's no room for pain or anguish. Nobody really wants you around if you're going to feel this way. And this is really difficult. When you're met with this kind of reaction, you end up feeling bad about how you are feeling and make yourself wrong for having these feelings. You end up questioning your own mental, emotional health and wondering what's wrong with you. You feel abandoned and rejected and have no real support for what you're going through. It can be difficult to find the support you need in our emotionally repressed society. As a result, you may just stuff it all down and try your best to get on with your life. But you can't really move on. I've had people come to me who have been out of their narcissistic relationship for years, and they tell me they never really got past it. They've never been the same since. They've never really moved on. Something just isn't right. They feel flatlined, lifeless, unmotivated, depressed, and lost. This is because your voice has been shut down right along with your emotions. You've not been able to express how you feel and be heard. You have suppressed your emotions because you didn't know what else to do. You were just joining the rest of our society as a robot, void of any real feeling. The way I help these people to come back to life is through their emotions, but they don't often understand this at first. They may feel that they have dealt with their emotions. A client might tell me, "I cried for months, so how could I still be repressed?" We have to explore what it is to be repressed. It might be that you cried a ton of tears, but there's a lot more tears left to cry that still were suppressed. It might be that you are suppressing your anger and rage. It might be that you are suppressing a feeling of injustice and deep frustration. With our sophisticated methods of suppressing our emotions, it may be difficult to understand what is being suppressed on your own. You may need the help of someone who is not uncomfortable with their own emotions to help you to unearth yours. Many people share emotions with me like they are telling me a long-held secret. It feels like a secret because they never felt safe talking about it before. They might say, "I'm so angry. I'm constantly fantasizing about taking revenge." Or they might say, "I'm really eaten up with jealousy of this new girlfriend and I don't know what to do with this feeling. I hate it." It's common that clients will tell me, "I hate feeling this way." And when you hate feeling the way that you do, you're in strong resistance to your feelings. What you resist persists. So the more you resist your emotions, the longer they will be there plaguing you. With this being said, let's talk about the emotion of hate for a moment. Hatred is an intensely negative emotion that comes from fear and anger wrapped up together. When one says, "I hate you," they're saying, "I'm deathly afraid of your power to hurt and destroy me." Or, "I'm so angry at you that my anger is overwhelming and I can't handle it." Or, "The difference between us are frightening to me and challenge me in a way that I'm not prepared to be challenged." So when someone comes to me with intense hatred towards a person, I help them to get in touch with their anger and feelings of injustice. Holding on to hatred is very damaging to that person's soul, just as holding on to anger is. Now, there's a big difference between holding on to an emotion and allowing an emotion to be there. We hold on to intensely negative emotions because we believe that they are serving a positive purpose for us, such as keeping us from repeating past mistakes or keeping us from going back to a bad relationship or to serve as a strong boundary. But we can learn from our mistakes and not repeat them when we express our negative feeling emotions and learn to take care of ourselves in a healthy way. Anger can serve as a powerful boundary. If I am so angry at you, I don't want anything to do with you, I'm not going to allow you to get close to me. So my anger is my protection. But holding on to this anger erodes us from the inside. It blocks the flow of love and joy in our lives. When our anger is repressed, we're still holding on to it. When we are aware of our anger and don't take steps to express it in healthy ways, it becomes resentment and is a detriment to your well-being. Resentment eats away at you bit by bit. It's important to understand the difference between getting in touch with your anger and allowing it to be there and then holding on to it. So getting in touch with your anger and allowing it to be there is healthy, but holding on to it isn't. When you get in touch with your anger and welcome it, then you can take action and express it through writing or punching a punching bag or taking a baseball bat to your bed or pounding a pillow. Getting that anger out is important. Finding a healthy outlet is necessary. Otherwise, the anger stays in the cells of your body and wreaks havoc in your life, not only emotionally, but physically. The method I teach people to deal with their anger is the baseball bat method. It's very powerful, and it's what I was taught when I had some really intense anger around a past relationship. What you need to do is purchase an aluminum baseball bat. You can use plastic, but aluminum is a bit heavier and will make more of an impact. Wood is usually too heavy and can cause you to throw out your shoulder, injure yourself in some way. So shut yourself in your bedroom, turn on the music, loud, if you have others in the house, and then bat your bed with all your might. Verbalize your protest. You can say, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, you SOB. You can say whatever you feel like saying. It's okay. Welcome all the ugly feelings inside of you. It's much better to get them out than to hold them in. Keep batting the bed until you are completely exhausted. This is one session. You may need many batting sessions to completely discharge the energy within your body. I know when I first got in touch with my anger, I had so much that I used my bat almost daily for 3 months. So some people say, well, I tried the bat and it didn't work because I'm still angry. Well, that was once. Give yourself a break. This anger's been accumulating for a long time. Many of us have been holding so much anger inside because we've gone through a lifetime of abuse and injustice that we didn't feel we could express. So we kept it bottled up inside or repressed. Many people are completely unaware of the amount of anger that they are sitting on. So get the baseball bat out and get ready. Be ready. The next time you're angry, take out the bat and start batting. If you don't yet have a bat, you can pound on the bed with your fist, but the baseball bat is far more effective because you're throwing your whole body into the process, and this helps you to release the energy in your body. Another method that was taught by Alexander Lowen to release anger or to protest is to lie on your bed and start kicking and shouting, no, no, no. Some people take a drive in their car and start screaming, and this can be helpful too, to get all that crazy energy inside of you out. I've had lots of clients who resist this exercise, and when I ask them, have you bought your baseball bat yet? They say no. As I question them further, they feel silly or shy or tell me that there are other people in the house and they don't feel comfortable with it. If you don't feel comfortable in your home because there are others there, you may need to take a drive somewhere else where you can scream, cry, and protest without witnesses. But get that baseball bat anyway and use it when you are alone. Turning on the music loud can be helpful too if there are other people. The important thing is to get that anger energy out of the body. Writing angry letters can be helpful too, but I would advise to write letters along with bat therapy, not as an exclusive therapy. The letters are your way of finding your voice and expressing how you feel to a person that you're angry at. And these are letters you're not likely going to send. Sometimes it might be appropriate to send an angry letter, but when you go no contact from a narcissist, it's best not to break no contact. Some people choose to send one last message to the narcissist prior to cutting off contact. And this allows them to get the last word, to express how they feel, and then close the door so that they are not bombarded by the backlash. And this is perfectly acceptable. The one thing that is not acceptable is holding your anger inside of you. It is constructive to express your anger and destructive to repress it. Oftentimes, when you open up the anger channels, you feel all the anger that you've been repressing your entire life, and this can feel really overwhelming. This is why it took me 3 months to release the lion's share of my anger. Even if you feel overwhelmed by your anger, realize that if you express it using the BAT therapy, you will start to release the pressure little by little, and it will be much less overwhelming. Imagine how overwhelming to your system it must be to hold all of that anger in your body. What is the difference between anger and rage, you might ask? Well, anger is an emotion one feels as a result of something that happened or something someone has done or an injustice of some sort, where rage is the accumulation of anger over a long period of time or the toxic expression of that anger. So you will often hear how someone has raged at you. This means they've come unglued and started spewing all of their hatred and anger at you. Now this is rage. We can get angry at a person and say to them, "I'm really angry at you right now." Or we can rage at them and start yelling and screaming and calling them names and throwing things. This is rage. Narcissists are known for their rage. And since they suppress and deny emotion, they're sitting on a ton of anger. And this anger comes out as rage. Rage expressed on another is hostility. Someone who expresses rage often is called a rageaholic. The expression of anger and rage in the safety of your own home allows you to release these intense emotions without harming anyone else. And let me reiterate that there's nothing bad or wrong about feeling anger and rage. It's what you do with it that matters. Feeling your feelings, no matter what they are, is healthy and okay. Taking your feelings out on others, even if you feel they deserve it, is not okay. People get themselves into trouble by doing this. They may do physical harm to others and end up in jail as a result of expressing their anger and rage on others. I always say it's okay to take the baseball bat to your bed, but not his head. You can imagine whatever you want while in your anger therapy session. Nobody's going to get hurt. A narcissist won't hesitate to call the police and have you thrown in jail for the most minuscule of encroachments, so be careful. I knew a woman who smacked her husband when she found out he was having an affair, and she ended up in jail. And this has happened with more than one of my clients. Sure, you feel like smacking him, I get it. But physical abuse is never okay. I don't care what the circumstances are. Now, defending yourself against physical assault is a different story. There are always exceptions to every rule. If someone has broken into your house and is threatening you or your family, you would probably take the baseball bat to his head, and this is self-defense. The majority of people I work with don't find themselves in this situation, however. Sometimes our dreams alert us to the anger that we're sitting on. I had a powerful dream once where my ex entered my house, and when I told him to leave, he wouldn't go. So I began to physically beat him up. In my dream, I was so angry that I beat the guy to a bloody pulp. And he was laying on the ground bleeding, and I kept kicking him. I was so disturbed by this dream and my own violence that I went to see this medicine woman that I knew and confessed the dream to her. And she responded by saying, "This was a man who repeatedly violated your boundaries. You needed to energetically take back your power and give him the message that you would no longer tolerate his coming into your home," which is your energetic space. "You did what you had to do." And after that dream, I developed a new respect for the power of dreams for emotional healing. I've had clients tell me of similar dreams where they took their power back. The medicine woman told me that this man would not get it any other way. And the beating him up was really symbolic. It was the only message he would understand. A dream like this can also be helpful in releasing these built-up emotions. So we can't control our dreams, so we can't rely on our dreams to handle our repressed emotions for us. But when you have a dream like what I had, you know that healing is happening. The most important thing to remember about anger turned inward is that it will slowly erode you from within. It will rob you of your vitality, your life force, and your joy. Allow yourself to get angry. Let it come out. Use your tools to express your anger in safe and healthy ways. And never let anyone tell you it isn't spiritual to get angry. That is spiritual bypass. Anger is energy. It's an intense energy and it needs to be released from the body. So welcome your anger. Let it come to the surface of your awareness and express it. If you find that you're afraid of your anger and can't let it come up, you may need therapy to help you with this. Try not to medicate your anger with drugs, alcohol, or pharmaceuticals. Let it out. Get the help you need to express your uncomfortable emotions. It will be worth every penny you spend, as your emotional freedom is priceless. Thank you for listening, and may you find peace.